I'm not going to try and hook you with some crazy introduction. If you have the attention span of an animal, you're probably not going to be very successful in business anyways. We are currently in an information-based economy, meaning that there are hundreds and thousands of coaches, consultants, gurus, course sellers out there selling all different kinds of information products and courses. And that leaves you with two choices. You can either be upset about the situation that we're in, comment "Sai Bao, nice try Diddy, put the fries in the bag," or you can actually choose to capitalize on the situation that we're in by partnering up with those gurus and course sellers and taking a slice of their revenue. And the way that I personally do this is I offer long form content and short form content to both coaches, consultants, and other agencies. And I do that for free until I actually end up closing them one client. And so 3 years ago, I might have told you that you needed to be an absolute expert in content in order to do the same for yourself. However, nowadays, we have the all-knowing, all-powerful artificial intelligence, which you've probably heard of, which can allow you to automate your content with absolutely no experience. And so right here on the screen, we see my long-form YouTube channel, and that is exactly what I want to talk about today. The importance of long-form content in micro-niche YouTube, because as you can see right here, when I first started, 28 days, I was only able to generate 163 views, which is absolutely terrible. However, in the first 2 weeks with my terribly formatted videos, I was still able to close over 2K cash collected. And when you scale this up onto a larger scale with the same principles that I know now, that I use and I will explain in this exact video, you see numerous creators using the exact same strategy to scale up to over 6 figures per month. And now, that comes with first understanding the principles behind YouTube's cost per mile or CPM. And so, first of all, we are not going to get our YouTube channel monetized. We do not care about AdSense. AdSense are dead because it takes way too long to take care of this entire process. However, the way that YouTube formats its CPM is something that should be studied. So, we see that there are channels that are based around businesses that are very, very boring. However, despite the business channels being boring, people come to these channels because they look to spend money or they actually want to make big changes in their life. Therefore, the CPM is high. And the reason behind that is because YouTube runs ads on people's channels, and the likelihood that the people that watch those channels actually buy is what this CPM will be based off of. And because people watch business content, because they are actually willing to spend money and have a higher chance of doing so, they have a higher CPM. And then if you look at the pleasureful content, pieces of content and long form content, like you look at Mr. Beast and people that are just trying to go viral, they have a very, very low CPM. And the reasoning behind that is because people are not looking to buy. They're just looking to get a laugh out, get entertained, get pleasure, and they're not actually gonna, as likely as the business people, to spend some money. Although we're not looking to get monetized, although we're not gonna have ads running on our YouTube, we can leverage this same exact principle because we know that this works because YouTube has had this same formatting for so many years, and we can replace the YouTube ads with our own service or coaching or course or whatever it is that you want to sell. And that makes the question, what do you actually make content about? And the answer to that question is we make it centering whatever we're selling. So our personal brand and what you will talk about will fall into either of these one categories, which have been the most successful when you're trying to build a micro niche YouTube. And the first one is documentation. So what type of content are you going to make? One of the possible answers is documentation content, which is you will document your entire journey as the founder, running whatever business it is that you're running, and you will talk about the why you're doing certain things or the how-tos of every single process that you go through from an educational standpoint. And so what this will do is help people copy whatever it is, try to copy whatever it is that you're doing. They're going to fail at it. And then guess who they're going to come back to? They're going to come back to you, the originator of the strategies, who, when whatever you documented, whatever you talked about, people are going to actually try to do it themselves. They're going to fail at it and they're going to come back to you. And we see numerous examples of guys like Hamza, Iman Ghatzi using these exact same methods and literally paving the way for numerous entrepreneurs to do the exact same thing. It's a very, very successful framework, and I'm using it myself in order to build traffic and build a brand and get traffic to my business. And the next type of content that you can make is experience-based content. So if we see guys like Brez Scales doing this time and time again, which is speaking about the information that is already in your head. If you're a seasoned business professional, or you've been doing this for a while, or even if you've been consuming a lot of content from other places and other people, you can speak about the experience that you already have in your head, and that a lot of people are going to be very, very appreciative of that. But in order to actually get these high six-figure months, you need to understand how to properly format a video. Now I'm going to show you how to do exactly that, and also automate your entire processes. Now I'm not going to go over all these specific nitty-gritties of formatting. So instead, I'm going to take you over to ChatGPT and show you the step-by-step processes that I use to automate my entire system. So right here, you can see I have the 25 bucks a month version of ChatGPT. If you go to school or university, anywhere, you can get this for completely free forever. And so what you want to do is come over here and hit the new project, because this just helps you differentiate between the other conversations that you're having with the AI, and then that way you can segregate them, talk about one specific thing in one place. And so right here, what you need to first do is understand that individual artificial intelligence prompts are absolutely terrible. You never want to depend on one single prompt and tell it what to do and expect it to give you a good answer, especially when it comes to scripting videos. Instead, what you want to do is tell it every single little thing about yourself, your story, what you sell, what you're doing, and what your intentions are with the YouTube channel. And the reason behind this is because there are very, very key principles of selling. When you're actually trying to sell to someone, you need to get them to know, like, and trust you. And they can know and like you from the surface level, just looking at you speaking for like 10, 15 seconds. However, to actually build that trust, they need to get to know you on a human level. And therefore, you need to give the very thing that makes your scripts the information about yourself, which would be on a personal and human level. And so an example of this would be, I wanted to be a lawyer when I was younger, and now I have, after scaling an SMMA to over 5 figures, changed that dream. And then you can also say something like whatever your story is. I've made 2K in 2 weeks. That's like my thing. And so I would tell it that and give it like the in-depth thing of everything about myself. And then I would ask it like, okay, now give me some ideas from like a how-to educational standpoint. Now I'm going to show you exactly what I used. This is authentically what my literal chat history when I first started making content that was actually formatted properly. And right here, the first thing I did is submitted some images of exactly what good content formatting looks like, and that's the screenshots, and this is the image that I just showed you before as well. So I told it that, alright, my name is Arav and I run a content agency that started 2 weeks ago and scaled to over 2K cash collected and require help to script both my long and short form YouTube videos. And then I gave it the idea, but you're not supposed to do this. Instead, you need to specifically start by explaining exactly who you are. So I went over and gave it my entire offer that I was running in terms of content. I gave it the price that the offer was sold at. I gave it the exact timeline that I ran all my clients through, like when I'm gonna get them certain things, when we're gonna get the post scripted. It knows literally every single nitty-gritty of everything. Then I gave it my entire life story. From 0 to 11, I grew up in Canada of excelling in math competitions, and then the world shut down, school went online, and I was very, very passionate about pursuing a career in law. And then I started scaling an SMMA. However, it was very, very inconsistent, so I made a switch over to the content agency space and collected 2K in 2 weeks. And so I want to base some videos around that. And then I also told it some specific slangs that I like to use and some specific unique differentiators which would allow me to stand out from other people in my niche or industry. I told it some things about my personality. I like using an Indian accent sometimes in order to sound funny. Just naturally, I've been doing that as a kid, you know, so I want to keep those things and maintain my personality in all of my YouTube videos. And then boom, right here, it gives me the entire script based on the idea that I already prompted it in. Don't ask for the idea or the script or whatever it is you're looking for straight up. First, actually get to know the story. I was in a rush here, so that's why I did it this way. And then the next thing that you can also potentially do is ask for like 100 ideas from a how-to educational standpoint, just like it says right here. So that is something that we can do now. Like we can literally just do that and then take the ideas that you like and then ask them for the scripts. And then also, if there are any competitors in your industry, you can literally go over to YouTube transcript, grab the entire transcript of the video and submit that here. So I want to make a video based on the following video that this competitor of mine has made, and then you literally go over to YouTube transcript and drop the entire transcript and say, please provide me an alternative version of this. And then boom, that's it, like you're done. And then it just spits out an entire video that is literally the exact same thing, but in your voice, in your words, in your way. And then over a long span of time, if you do this on a daily or 3 times weekly or 5 times weekly basis, be able to generate over 6 figures a month cash collected, and that's on a very, very long time horizon. So a lot of people don't even get that far. And of course, there's a slight oversimplification of what I offer in my service. It's obviously not only long form content, but also short form content, appointment setting. You have to understand how people's offer works. You have to understand client acquisition, both inbound and outbound. You have to also understand how to potentially automate the service delivery of whoever it is that you're serving. However, that also leaves you with 2 choices. You can either choose to learn and get to work and figure out things on the way while you actually offer a service or do whatever it is that you're doing in terms of your business, or you can actually just complain and fall off the map because of how much work there is to be doing. With that being said, if you're trying to run a business yourself or make big changes in your life, I really hope that you're able to achieve it and that this video brought you closer to doing so. And if whatever it is that you're trying to do requires any marketing solutions, just hit me up on Instagram and I'll work with you for free until we end up closing 1 client. Thank you very much for watching and good luck.